We live in a time where we can connect with anyone, anywhere, at any moment. Social media platforms buzz with activity, smartphones keep us in touch, and virtual meetings have replaced face-to-face interactions. Yet, despite this unprecedented connectivity, loneliness is surging to epidemic levels across the United States. It's ironic, isn't it? We're more connected than ever, yet many of us feel more isolated. Studies reveal that nearly half of Americans report feeling lonely. This isn't just a fleeting emotion. It's a profound sense of disconnection that can lead to serious mental health issues, like anxiety and depression. The impact doesn't stop there. Loneliness can also affect our physical health, increasing the risk of heart disease, stroke, and even premature death. It's as if our emotional state is intricately linked to our physical well-being. So, why is loneliness on the rise? One major factor is the way we interact online. Social media can create a facade of connection, where we curate our lives to appear perfect, but this often leads to feelings of inadequacy and isolation. We scroll through endless feeds, comparing our lives to highlight reels, and that can leave us feeling more alone than ever. Then there's the phenomenon of phubbing, snubbing someone in favor of your phone. How many times have we been in a room full of people, yet everyone is glued to their screens? This behavior not only diminishes our real-life connections, but also sends a message that we value our devices more than the people around us. So, what can we do to combat this loneliness? First, we need to prioritize genuine connections. Instead of sending a quick text, how about picking up the phone for a real conversation? Or better yet, meet up in person. It's those face-to-face interactions that truly nourish our relationships. We can also set boundaries with technology. Designate tech-free times during the day, especially during meals or family gatherings. This simple act can foster deeper conversations and strengthen bonds. Lastly, let's be proactive about reaching out. If you're feeling lonely, don't hesitate to connect with friends or family. And if you notice someone else struggling, extend a hand. Sometimes, just knowing someone cares can make all the difference. Loneliness may be on the rise, but we have the power to change that narrative. By embracing real connections, setting boundaries with technology, and reaching out to one another, we can build a community that thrives on genuine relationships. It's time to turn the tide on loneliness and rediscover the joy of being truly connected. Loneliness is a complex emotion that often gets misunderstood. Many people think it's simply about being alone, but that's not the case. You can be surrounded by friends, family, or even strangers, yet still feel profoundly lonely. It's that feeling of being unseen, unheard, and disconnected, even in a crowd. It's like standing in the middle of a bustling city, yet feeling like you're in a bubble, isolated from everyone around you. The U.S. Surgeon General recently issued a stark warning about loneliness, stating that it can be as dangerous as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let that sink in for a moment. We often think of smoking as a serious health risk, but loneliness can have equally devastating effects on our physical and mental well-being. It can lead to anxiety, depression, and even heart disease. Why does this happen? When we feel lonely, our bodies go into a state of stress. Our heart rate increases, our blood pressure rises, and our immune system weakens. It's a vicious cycle. The more isolated we feel, the more our health deteriorates, which can lead to even greater feelings of loneliness. But here's the thing. Loneliness is not a personal failure. It's a human experience. In our hyper-connected world, where social media often gives the illusion of connection, many still feel isolated. We scroll through curated lives, comparing ourselves to others, and that can deepen our sense of disconnection. So what can we do about it? First, we need to recognize that loneliness is a common experience. It's okay to feel this way. Acknowledging it is the first step toward change. Then, we can take action. Reach out to someone, a friend, a family member, or even a colleague. Start a conversation. You'd be surprised how many people are feeling the same way. Engaging in community activities, volunteering, or joining clubs can also help bridge that gap. It's about finding connections and building relationships, even if it feels daunting at first. Remember, loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about the quality of our connections. Let's strive to create deeper, more meaningful relationships, not just with others, but also with ourselves. After all, we're all in this together, navigating the complexities of life, and it's okay to seek connection. It's striking to think that nearly half of Americans report feeling lonely or left out. That's a staggering number, isn't it? Loneliness isn't just an emotional state, it's a public health crisis. Among college students and young adults, the rates are even higher. Imagine being surrounded by thousands of peers, yet feeling completely isolated. It's a paradox that many can relate to. Social media, while connecting us in some ways, often amplifies feelings of loneliness. Scrolling through curated lives can make anyone feel inadequate or disconnected. The pressure to present a perfect life can be overwhelming, leading to a cycle of comparison that only deepens our sense of isolation. But it's not just the young who are affected. Older adults face their own battles with loneliness. Retirement can lead to a sudden loss of social interaction. The empty nest syndrome hits hard when children leave home, and the quiet can feel deafening. Limited mobility can further isolate them, making it difficult to engage with the world outside their front door. What's fascinating is that loneliness can affect anyone, regardless of age or background. It's a universal experience that transcends demographics. The good news? There are ways to combat this pervasive feeling. Building connections, even small ones, can make a significant difference. A simple conversation with a neighbor or joining a local club can help bridge that gap. It's striking to think that nearly half of Americans report feeling lonely or left out. That's a staggering number, isn't it? Loneliness isn't just an emotional state, it's a public health crisis. Among college students and young adults, the rates are even higher. Imagine being surrounded by thousands of peers, yet feeling completely isolated. It's a paradox that many can relate to. Social media, while connecting us in some ways, often amplifies feelings of loneliness. Scrolling through curated lives can make anyone feel inadequate or disconnected. The pressure to present a perfect life can be overwhelming, leading to a cycle of comparison that only deepens our sense of isolation. But it's not just the young who are affected. Older adults face their own battles with loneliness. Retirement can lead to a sudden loss of social interaction. The empty nest syndrome hits hard when children leave home, and the quiet can feel deafening. Limited mobility can further isolate them, making it difficult to engage with the world outside their front door. What's fascinating is that loneliness can affect anyone, regardless of age or background. It's a universal experience that transcends demographics. The good news? There are ways to combat this pervasive feeling. Building connections, even small ones, can make a significant difference. A simple conversation with a neighbor or joining a local club can help bridge that gap. Scrolling through my Instagram feed, I see a perfect world. Friends laughing, sunsets glowing, and adventures that seem endless. I have over 1,000 followers, yet when I feel low, I realize I have no one to call. It's ironic, isn't it? This platform, designed to connect us, often leaves me feeling more isolated than ever. Every post I see is a highlight reel, a curated version of life that makes me question my own. I find myself comparing my reality to the filtered moments of others. It's a trap. I scroll, and with each swipe, I feel a pang of FOMO, fear of missing out. I see friends hanging out without me, and suddenly, I'm not just lonely, I'm left out. These endless scrolls are supposed to bring us closer, but they often deepen the chasm of loneliness. I've replaced genuine conversations with likes and comments. A thumbs up feels like a connection, but it's just a digital pat on the back. It's easy to forget that behind every post is a person, often struggling with their own battles. Just like me, that I remember a night when I felt particularly low. I sat on my bed, scrolling through my feed, seeing everyone else's lives unfold. I wanted to reach out, but the thought of sending a message felt daunting. What would I say? Hey, I'm feeling down. It felt too vulnerable, too real. So, I stayed silent, trapped in my own thoughts, while my followers continued to live their seemingly perfect lives. The irony is that I'm not alone in this. Many of us are trapped in this cycle. We crave connection, yet we hide behind screens. We share snippets of our lives, but how often do we share our true selves? The deeper we dive into this digital world, the more we lose sight of what real connection feels like. I've started to realize that I need to break this cycle. I want to reclaim my time and my relationships. Instead of scrolling, I'm trying to reach out. I'm learning to pick up the phone, to invite someone for coffee, to have those awkward but necessary conversations. It's scary, but it's also liberating. I want to remind myself that it's okay to feel lonely, but it's also okay to seek connection. Real connection. The kind that doesn't come from a like or a comment, but from shared laughter, tears, and moments that matter. I'm working on being more present, both online and offline. Because at the end of the day, it's those face-to-face bonds that truly fill the void. So here's to stepping away from the screen, to embracing the messiness of real life, and to finding genuine connections in a world that often feels disconnected. In the heart of America, we thrive in a fast-paced, work-driven culture. We hustle from dawn till dusk, chasing deadlines and promotions, often at the expense of our personal lives. It's a race where the finish line seems to keep moving. And in this relentless pursuit, we often find ourselves sacrificing something invaluable: deep, meaningful relationships. Take a moment to think about urban living. Cities are bustling with millions of people, yet many of us walk down crowded streets feeling like strangers. We're surrounded by faces, but how often do we connect? The irony is palpable. We live in a world that's more connected than ever through technology, yet we often feel isolated. The very devices that keep us in touch can also create barriers, turning conversations into text messages and friendships into social media likes. This independent culture we cherish values self-sufficiency. We're taught to stand on our own 2 feet, to be resilient and self-reliant. While these traits can be empowering, they can also lead to isolation. We pride ourselves on our ability to handle things alone, but in doing so, we sometimes forget the importance of leaning on others. The truth is, we all crave connection. We all need a support system, yet we often push people away, believing we can do it all by ourselves. Contrast this with collectivist cultures, where family and community play a central role in daily life. In these societies, loneliness is often mitigated by strong social ties. Families gather regularly, neighbors know each other's names, and there's a sense of belonging that permeates everyday interactions. In these environments, people are less likely to feel isolated because they have a network of support that encourages connection and collaboration. Imagine the difference it could make if we embraced a more communal approach. What if we prioritized relationships as much as we prioritize our careers? What if we took the time to nurture friendships, to reach out to neighbors, or to simply engage in conversations with those around us? The potential for deeper connections is right in front of us, waiting to be tapped into. We can start small. It could be as simple as inviting a colleague for coffee instead of just sending an email or striking up a conversation with someone in your building. These small gestures can lead to meaningful relationships that enrich our lives. In a world that often feels disconnected, let's challenge ourselves to break down those walls. Let's strive for a balance between our ambitions and our relationships. After all, at the end of the day, it's not just about what we achieve, but who we share our lives with. The American lifestyle can be fast-paced and work-driven, but it doesn't have to be lonely. We have the power to change that narrative, one connection at a time. Loneliness is a heavy weight that many of us carry, often without realizing just how deeply it can affect our lives. It's not just about being alone. It's about feeling disconnected, isolated from the world around us. This feeling can spiral into something much darker: depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. It's a cycle that's hard to break. When I feel lonely, I notice my thoughts start to shift. I begin to question my worth, my place in the world. That nagging voice in my head tells me I'm not good enough, that no one would miss me if I disappeared. This self-doubt feeds into my anxiety, making me feel even more isolated. It's like a storm brewing inside, and I can't find a way to calm it. What's even more alarming is how loneliness impacts our bodies. It triggers the release of cortisol, the stress hormone. Elevated cortisol levels can disrupt our sleep patterns, leaving us tossing and turning at night, exhausted during the day. It's a vicious cycle. I feel tired, which makes me less likely to reach out to others, and then I feel even lonelier. It's a downward spiral that's hard to escape. As I withdraw from social interactions, I convince myself that it's easier this way. I tell myself that I don't want to burden anyone with my feelings. But in reality, the longer I isolate myself, the deeper my loneliness becomes. I miss out on connections, on laughter, on the simple joy of being around others. The irony is that the very thing I crave, companionship, becomes the thing I avoid. It's crucial to recognize this cycle for what it is. Loneliness can trick us into believing that we're better off alone, but that's rarely the case. Reaching out, even when it feels impossible, can be the first step toward breaking free. It might be a text to a friend, a call to a family member, or even joining a group that shares my interests. Each small step can help rebuild those connections and combat the feelings of isolation that I've learned that vulnerability is not a weakness, it's a strength. Sharing my feelings, even when it's uncomfortable, opens the door to understanding and support. It's a reminder that I'm not alone in this struggle. Many people feel the weight of loneliness, and by talking about it, we can create a community of support.so. The next time I feel that familiar pang of loneliness creeping in, I'll try to remember that it's okay to reach out. It's okay to seek help. Breaking the cycle starts with acknowledging the feelings and taking that first step, no matter how small. Loneliness doesn't have to define me. I have the power to change the narrative, to connect, and to find joy in the company of others. Loneliness is more than just an emotional state. It's a silent health crisis that many of us face. Research shows that chronic loneliness can significantly increase the risk of heart disease. Imagine that. Feeling isolated can literally put your heart at risk. It's as if our bodies are wired to respond to loneliness the same way they respond to chronic stress. When we feel lonely, our bodies release stress hormones like cortisol, which can lead to inflammation and a host of other health issues. This isn't just about feeling sad. It's about how our physical health is intertwined with our emotional well-being. Loneliness can weaken our immune system, making us more susceptible to illnesses. It's like our body is saying, "I'm under attack," even when the threat is just the absence of connection, and it doesn't stop there. Chronic loneliness has been linked to cognitive decline and an increased risk of dementia. Studies suggest that those who feel isolated may experience a faster decline in cognitive function. It's alarming to think that the simple act of feeling alone can impact our brain health so profoundly. What's even more concerning is that loneliness can shorten our lifespan. Some studies indicate that it can be as detrimental to our health as smoking or obesity. It's a stark reminder that our social connections are vital for our longevity. So what can we do about it? First, we need to acknowledge that loneliness is a real issue, not just a fleeting feeling. Building connections, even small ones, can make a significant difference. It could be as simple as reaching out to a friend, joining a community group, or volunteering. Remember, it's not just about avoiding loneliness. It's about actively fostering relationships that enrich our lives. Let's prioritize our connections, because in the end, our health depends on it. Loneliness is a heavy burden, but together, we can lighten that load. Building strong relationships is essential for our well-being. It's not about the number of friends we have. It's about the quality of those connections. Focusing on one or two meaningful relationships can provide the support and understanding we need. Think about it. Having someone you can truly rely on makes a world of difference. Community groups are a fantastic way to foster these connections. Joining a club, volunteering, or participating in local events can introduce you to like-minded individuals. Whether it's a book club, a sports team, or a charity organization, these activities not only enrich your life, but also help you meet people who share your interests and values. Now let's talk about social media. It's easy to get caught up in endless scrolling, but that often leaves us feeling more isolated. Instead of passively consuming content, try replacing that time with real conversations. Reach out to a friend for a coffee or a chat. Those face-to-face interactions can be incredibly fulfilling and help strengthen your bonds. Therapy and support groups are also valuable resources. Talking about our feelings and experiences can be incredibly liberating. It helps us break the cycle of negative thoughts and emotions. Sharing our struggles with others who understand can create a sense of community and belonging. It's a reminder that we're not alone in our challenges, and don't forget about the power of checking in on others. Sometimes, the best way to combat our own feelings of loneliness is to be there for someone else. A simple text or call to see how someone is doing can make a huge difference. It not only lifts their spirits, but can also create a deeper connection between you both. Incorporating these strategies into our lives can lead to a more fulfilling and connected existence. It's all about prioritizing those meaningful relationships, engaging with our communities, and being proactive in our social interactions. By doing so, we not only enhance our own well-being, but also contribute positively to the lives of those around us. We live in a world that often prioritizes productivity over connection. It's like we've been programmed to chase deadlines and achievements, forgetting that the heart of our communities beats strongest when we come together. Imagine a shift where we value community just as much as we value our work. Companies are starting to recognize this need. Mental health days are becoming a thing, and it's about time. These aren't just days off. They're a recognition that our well-being matters. When employees take a step back to recharge, they return not just as workers, but as engaged members of a team. Team bonding activities are popping up everywhere, from escape rooms to cooking classes. These experiences foster relationships that go beyond the office walls, creating a sense of belonging that can transform a workplace. But it doesn't stop there. Neighborhood initiatives are gaining momentum, too. Local meetups are a fantastic way to break down barriers. Whether it's a potluck dinner or a community cleanup, these gatherings remind us that we're all in this together. They create a space where we can share stories, ideas, and laughter, building connections that enrich our lives. Community kitchens are another brilliant concept. They not only provide meals, but also serve as a hub for interaction. People from diverse backgrounds come together, sharing recipes and cultures, breaking bread in a way that fosters understanding and friendship. It's amazing how a simple meal can bridge gaps and create lasting bonds. And let's not forget about book clubs. They're not just about reading. They're about dialogue and connection. Discussing a book can lead to deeper conversations about life, values, and experiences. It's a chance to see the world through someone else's eyes, and that's invaluable. This cultural shift towards valuing community over constant productivity isn't just a nice idea. It's essential for our mental health and overall happiness. When we prioritize connection, we create a support system that helps us navigate life's challenges. It's time to embrace this change, to invest in our communities, and to recognize that together, we can build a stronger, more resilient America. Let's celebrate the power of connection and make it a priority in our lives. Loneliness isn't just something we feel alone. It's a challenge we all face as a society. But here's the truth. Connection is powerful medicine. Think about it. One heartfelt conversation, a shared meal with family, or a simple smile from a friend can change everything. If you're feeling isolated, remember, you're not alone in this. Reach out, connect with someone, and rebuild those bonds that make us human. Together, we can create a community where everyone feels valued and supported. Let's make the effort to connect. It truly can make all the difference.